By the way, this is the same shit we've seen from every other like big NFT scam or crypto scam that we've been covering so far. Well, covering as in reacting, let's be real here. But like every single, I don't want to be a scammer myself, every single one of them is usually someone who has a dedicated fan base, you know, a dedicated pool of people who trust the content creator, who are just like, okay, the content creator is now trying to get us to invest in something that'll help all of us. It'll help out the community. And then it turns out the content creator is mostly interested in solely enriching themselves, and then hence the rug pull. And in this one, it happens to also have Coomers, so that's the new angle. We've added Coomers to the story. All right, we're going to be covering NFT scams just for a little bit. Apparently, this one comes from Lana, Rhoades. Goldie Fawn X, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. So sorry, let me repeat. We're going to be covering a NFT scam. This one comes from Lana, Rhoades. I am completely unaware about what this one is about. Apparently, it's been going on for a while. I am a big fan of catching people who are scammers in the NFT world because, you know, I think the exposure of how this whole thing is one giant grift is a good thing. So there you are.
Rhoades just rug pulled her NFT project and ran away with $1.5 million.
What?
Now she's claiming it's not her fault. Her community was just getting too negative for her. One of those negative comments was about how this person can't feed their kids because they invested it all into a Stars JPEG collection. Quote, I spent what I can't lose, spent 4K. No job, have a 2-year-old son. If only someone bought my Christmas, Lana. Yeah, and apparently Lana Rhoades saw this post and said, hey, this is getting way too negative for me. I'm out. I didn't know these people wanted to feed their kids.
Okay, yeah, first off, if you're trying to feed your kids and the method you're going about that is buying a sex worker's NFT cartoons, I don't know. I don't know if you really have a leg to stand on here. Like, how did you think these NFTs were going to help you?
Apparently, she's too busy feeding her own kid to worry about this. When asked about this, she said, yo, diapers are expensive. That's right, guys. She needs that $1.5 million. Now, let's just say what this is from Lana.
Yeah, okay. I need to preface all of this with some financial advice to every single one of you. Please, first off, just don't invest in NFTs, but separate from that, don't invest anything that you're not prepared to lose. Real investing is slow and boring. You put a little bit of extra money that you have lying on the side every now and then when you have it into something that will accrue very small amounts of interest. It's not exciting. It's not like buying, you know, an NFT and then all of a sudden it's worth more money the next day, or buying even a Doge that'll hopefully go up in value and never plummet in free fall. You know, it's nothing like that. So again, if you're looking to invest in anything, this applies to online investments. Don't do it with any amount that you're not prepared to lose.
Rhoades, to the person who invests their last dime into it, this is the dumbest story we've ever talked about by far. I mean, there's no contest, but here we are. So let's just embrace what it is. Welcome to the $10 million studio. I'm your host, CoffeeZilla, the internet detective.
May he never find out about
Again,
Surfcoin.
This story is what it seems. A star gone influencer offered an investment to her fans, and then they invested $1.5 million. She ran away with the money. I'm going to say right off the top, come real close, come here. We have to have a talk, okay? If you fell for this, we're in trouble. This is not good. Now, to be clear, she's wrong for doing this. I want the best for you guys, and I'm sorry that you got scammed. But it's looking bleak if you fell for this. This was not a hard one to spot. This was not a big gotcha. But anyways, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about the story, okay? So look, Lana Rhoades started an NFT project full of a bunch of pictures of basically cartoon versions of herself.
Okay.
And she told people she was going to work
Same
super
scam
hard
everyone's
to basically
doing.
make this a valuable investment. The NFT project was called CryptoSys, and she said, my #1 goal for the project is to increase the value of CryptoSys NFTs and make it a lucrative investment for holders that they can sell for more than they paid to mint. And this is basically my big beef with this project. They made it sound like an investment. Nowhere was it like, hey, buy my art. Clearly, this was something where it was like, no, you're going to make money on this project. And she repeats this idea later. She says, quote, the brand plus value will keep growing with every drop. So her fans thought this was going to be some kind of long-term investment, I guess. And of course, it wasn't. If you look at her roadmap, it was pretty clear things were promised that weren't delivered on. For example, in phase 2, she said Decentraland and Sandbox Wearable will start getting developed. She promised a piece of designated metaverse land
Wait, Decentraland? What is going on here? This seems way more ambitious than just like a simple buy this series of NFTs that I will increase the value of with my fan base.
Would be purchased to create a hangout spot. She said 50 lucky CryptoSys owners will receive CryptoSys merch signed by Lana, even promising to distribute 5 ETH to the top holders. And of course, one of the biggest things was an exclusive community to speak with Lana. This apparently was their reasoning for having to raise so much money, $1.5 million.
By the way, this is the same shit we've seen from every other like big NFT scam or crypto scam that we've been covering so far. Well, covering as in reacting, let's be real here. But like every single, I don't want to be a scammer myself. Every single one of them is usually someone who has a dedicated fan base, you know, a dedicated pool of people who trust the content creator, who are just like, okay, the content creator is now trying to get us to invest in something that'll help all of us. It'll help out the community. And then it turns out the content creator is mostly interested in solely enriching themselves, and then hence the rug pull. And this one, it happens to also have Coomers, so that's the new angle. We've added Coomers to the story.
Precisely because they weren't a pump and dump.
Unlike other pump and dump projects, we don't just plan on stopping after minting, so we actually have to be able to fund all that stuff.
So you heard it right there. This is a long-term project, not a pump and dump. But that didn't happen. Less than a week after all this money was raised, Lana Rhoades vanished from her community and took the money out of the wallet. Here's the main wallet withdrawing over $1.5 million in Ethereum out of the project. The reason? Things got too negative. Quote, the truth as why Lana hasn't been around was she was very shocked and upset by the amount of negative and rude comments she was seeing in the chat. Now, I personally find this part hilarious because I checked out this Discord. You can't imagine a...
Well, okay, first off, I mean, if that was a rule, there's a couple times where, like, if my Twitch chat and the amount of, like, trolls that were popping in there was any barometer where I'm like, okay, well, hey, everybody, you know all those millions of dollars you've invested, I'm gonna have to pull that all out because, you know, it's getting too spicy. Chat just got too spicy. What can I say?
Bigger simp army. These guys were not negative, and I do mean guys, by the way. They put their last dollar into this project, truth be told. And one of them even got like a tattoo of the project logo on this before it rugged. But my point sort of is, this wasn't a negative community at all. In fact, even after they had been scammed, all these people in the community tried to police each other into being nice so that Lana would come back. Here's one of the holders saying, how do you want us to keep it respectful while the whole entire management scammed 6,000 people and took their money and left? And then the person responds, doesn't mean you can't be respectful. I mean, I feel like that tells you everything you need to know. They had just been scammed and still you have...
Okay, well, I don't know. Did CoffeeZilla do a really big deep dive into the Discord itself? Because, like, there's no question that, especially if you happen to be, like, you know, a sex worker or a woman on the internet, there is a huge amount of people who say just the outright worst shit about you all the time. But is that separate from the NFT Discord, in which it was obviously a community of people who are very, very invested in this and are not the same kind of people who would be saying just, like, horrifying, misogynistic or other shit in there? Are they both separate? Because that would be very interesting to know.
People in the chat being like, hey, be respectful about it. And honestly, they used this fact that people were upset.
I think it was only people who were invested.
Basically got rug pulled.
See, to be honest, like, I don't see the investment NFT Discord being filled with just assholes. They'd probably be both a combination of mega fans and also people who have invested like a lot of money into this.
To justify then abandoning the project. Here's actually one of the collaborators informing the community of this. They said, good morning. I chatted to CryptoSys about my NFT. Lana isn't interested in continuing, mainly because she felt part of her Discord community was cruel, and she didn't want to have to look at comments. That's right, guys. Lana Rhoades doesn't want to have to look at cruel comments. Just because you can't feed your kids now doesn't mean it's okay for you to get negative on her. Oh, by the way, yeah, that same post, that collaborator, they actually said they'd be releasing their own NFT project in the same sentence. So they basically said, you guys got scammed. And so look out for NFT Scam Part 2. And you might be thinking, who would fall for this? Well, the same people who bought the first one. Because look here. They said, quote, go show her some love, talking.
Oh my god, that is so shameless. It's like, oh yeah, we may have just withdrawn all the money and we're using the excuse of bad comments in the Discord specifically for that. By the way, I'm also going to be releasing my own series pretty soon. It won't happen again. Don't worry, don't worry.
About this person. Let's prove we are not toxic. She can still save us. I mean, at this point, it's pretty sad, isn't it? you got rug pulled and you're about to go into a second rug pull. I mean, again, I want to help you guys, but there's only so much I can do if you're going to do that. You know what I mean? There's only so much we can do.
No,
So, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it is them. I don't know if they're the one. If it's the real Mil Malkova, I don't know if they did this. That's going to be something to find out, though. Is that going to be, because there's a two-parter to this. This is only part one.
That's basically the story. What did we learn from this? Hopefully nothing. Hopefully all of this was obvious to you. If it wasn't, you need to pump the stock. Honestly, Zilla, hey, it's free. You're not going to get rugged this time. It's impossible. Just like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. And you need to watch a lot more of this channel.
I don't know. It seems like everyone online is trying to scam me. Even YouTube is turning my YouTube to light mode randomly for no reason. Okay, so that was part one. Lana Rhoades compares NFT scams to Ukraine. What? Oh no.
Today I was accused of being an internet sicko. A guy that would do anything for views. My accuser, Lana Rhoades, she fired back at me today saying, you shouldn't worry about the NFT scam. Don't you know there's a war going on? Saying people...
You can't be serious. You can't. But in the grand picture of things, this is so fucking stupid for me to even address outside of finding a solution for the actual holders of the NFT. People are living in fear for their life in Ukraine right now, and people are worried about NFTs. What does the world come to? CoffeeZilla is not a war channel. It would be very weird if CoffeeZilla, like, overnight, all of a sudden was like, and now for our 24/7 coverage of Ukraine, and I'm actually going to be speaking in a British voice, because I believe it's going to be more dignified as I do all this coverage of what is going on in Ukraine and the many suffrages of the Ukrainian people. That would be very weird. That would be fucked up. It makes perfect sense that CoffeeZilla is going to keep making videos about NFT scams, which it seems like you are a part of. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for this just to be like a normal call-out.
who are concerned about her scamming investors are being stupid because, quote, people are living in fear for their life in Ukraine right now, and people are worried about NFTs? What does this world come to? And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, what has this world come to where a girl...
Telferin, thank you for the tier 1. I appreciate it.
Girl can't get a free pass on a scam, dude. You hear what Putin's doing? I mean, look, I'm just going to respond to this real quick. I don't feel like it needs it, but we know, Lana. Two bad things can happen at the same time. Just because we're talking about you doesn't mean we forgot about the tragedy in Ukraine. That's
such a weird thing to use as a deflect, as a shield. I mean, the reverse Uno card is instantaneous. It has a reverse Uno card built into it. Because as soon as you see that, it's just like, well, yeah, no shit. That doesn't excuse what you're doing. Like, I've thwarted you.
Because we point out one bad thing doesn't devalue the other thing. We're all adults here, right? In fact, I dare I say it, we might be able to hold a third one. Hold on one second. Let me try to create it without losing all knowledge of Ukraine. Maybe using war as a cover for your scandals is bad. Maybe that, I don't know. Did you guys all forget about Ukraine for a second? Honestly, I did real quick. But this rubbed me the wrong way, guys. In part because of a situation going on here at CoffeeZilla HQ, many of you guys don't know about, but those OGs do, which is that all of this, all of CoffeeZilla really, is designed, created by a Ukrainian. Even I am the creation of a Ukrainian. His name is Ed. We've had him on the channel before, aka Young Pixar, as we like to call him. As of yesterday, he's stuck in Ukraine. He literally can't leave. His country's being invaded, but Ukraine won't let young men leave because of like rules about men under 60 leaving the country. It's very—
Wow, I didn't know all this. And Punch Drunk Pulpit, very true. So we're on the brink of the war and you're checking notes covering NFT scams. Do better, please. Yeah. See, it's the exact same thing. It's like, hey, why the fuck are you doing a segment on this, Lance? Why aren't you covering the things that matter? Why have you done no coverage of Ukraine today? I mean, at the end of the day, shame on you.
Very confusing, and I've been calling everyone, trying to use every ounce of
Snoop's
influence
already
I have
been
to
in
get this guy out. I barely slept
for a while.
This chick, Lana Rhoades.
Oh my god, are you serious? This isn't even like a derailment. He's part of the FaZe clan?
Am I still streaming?
Let's go.
You're breaking up. I'm breaking up heads right now.
Okay, first off, just out of the gates, and this is someone who grew up listening to Snoop Dogg and loves Snoop Dogg's music. I'm not opposed to the idea of Snoop Dogg being a streamer. That's not a bad thing. It's just, it's kind of shitty that it's with FaZe Clan. That's all.
Baby, that's all to break it up doing. You did. Hey, Snoop. I am a part of the FaZe clan.
Stays up with us.
This is so surreal. What is happening? Did not have that on my 2022 bingo chart.
Rhoades comes and goes, hey, stop being mad at me, guys. You hear of Ukraine? Don't you know people are suffering?
So what is FaZe Clan? If you haven't been following, another CoffeeZilla video has a really good version of it. They are a gaming collective. There are teams that play together in professional gaming, esports, if you will. And they were also heavily involved in a large cryptocurrency pump and dump, where they basically got a whole bunch of people to invest a lot of money. This one was especially insidious, and it wasn't all of FaZe Clan. It was a couple FaZe Clan members, but they did the whole thing as a coins for the kids, where apparently the money that was fundraised through the token was going to help for humanitarian causes worldwide. And of course the whole thing was, again, like most of these things, where everyone puts in a whole bunch of tangible liquid assets, and then all of a sudden for one reason or another, a whole bunch of money just suddenly disappears because someone is pulling a whole bunch of it out of the token and then putting it into their own coffers. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, the Save the Kids coin. Thank you.
Yeah,
multiple scams. Fucking hell.
We caught that, Lana. Thanks, though. Here's a take that might get me in trouble. Just because Putin exists doesn't mean you're a good person, right? Just because there's someone worse than you doesn't make you better, right? Maybe if your argument for why you're a good person is that you haven't invaded anyone yet, maybe that's not a good call. Anyway, I got Ed's permission to talk about this. I'm slightly publicly, and I just wanted to say before we get to the next part of this segment, if you're in Lviv or have swayed to get people out of Ukraine, please contact me on Twitter or by email. That's all I wanted to say. But now with that out of the way, I also want to address some other stuff that was said about us, me specifically, which is that I was accused of being an effing sicko, a disease.
He was like, come on. In terms of CoffeeZilla reporting, he did not go that hard. I don't think it was outrageous. He was doing what he always does. He was like, okay, this seems incredibly sus. It looks like you sold a whole bunch of things, told everybody the entire purpose of this was to inflate the value of it for the entire community to make money off, and now all of a sudden you've pulled a whole bunch of money out of it, and you've said the reason for doing that is the language in the Discord was too negative for you. And that's one of the reasons why you're pulling, again, vast amounts of money that other people have invested into the scam. I don't think he was being in any way over the top or inflammatory in that reporting. It was very nice for him. Internet
who will do anything and say anything for views. Now I'm going to be honest here. I didn't have it on my bingo card that Lana Rhoades would accuse me of being the one to do anything for views, but here we are. I guess I'm just wild like that, just crazy. I'll say anything. Things like, my number one goal for this project is to increase the value of CryptoSys NFTs and make it a lucrative investment for holders. And I'll say it. Oh, wait, that wasn't me who said that. That was Lana Rhoades. She's the one who abandoned the project and took the money. I mean, look, honestly, guys, all I want is the same thing I've wanted all along, which is for her to return the money to investors. I guess that makes me some kind of a freak, some kind of a disease of the internet, wanting people's money returned to them. Look, guys, she can't do that, right? How can this millionaire possibly live on millions of dollars minus like $1 million? How can she live if her net worth goes down like 1%? I mean, what do you want her to starve? What does this world come to, where Lana Rhoades is being ridiculed while Putin is invading Ukraine? Now, I will say one positive thing that has come of my coverage, right? Lana has once again taken an interest in her NFT out of nowhere, posting for the first time since she disappeared. She said, it's all on the holders if they're going to make their money back. Quote, I'm not saying I can turn this investment around for anyone or make anyone profit. That is up to you guys at this point. Now, I do find this funny that she's basically like, look, I'm back, but it's all on you.
It's going to be a lot harder for people to make a profit from the NFTs when the value of the NFTs has plummeted from you taking out so much of the money, though. You understand how that works, right? You can't come back and be like, so now it's up to you to make all the money that I've kind of taken out of it.
No responsibility here.
Pull up your non-fungible bootstraps. Oh, credit to Beatitude for that. That's a really good line.
What happens to your investment, even though it was all my idea, actually? Look, I'm even saying a partial refund at this point. I'm bargaining, dude. I'm way past full refund. I'm just saying, look, she denies she made $1.5 million. Instead, Lana Rhoades says she got a cut of that.
Okay.
But if that's the case, Fine, give that money back, right?
Yeah.
Give that money back to investors. Like, where's the
That's
talk
easy.
of that? I wonder if they're like in a room discussing this scandal Lana Rhoades has going on, and they're talking about like how to handle it. And someone's in the back like, hey, maybe we should refund them.
Hey, thank you,
Another guy's
Meow
like,
Burger.
Hey, maybe
Appreciate
we should
it.
like deliver on what we promised everyone. And Lana Rhoades is like, no, wait, I've got it. We'll blame it on Ukraine.
Okay, that's funny. Wow, what a dumpster fire. Good job, CoffeeZilla. Keep keep exposing scams. You do really good work at it. That's amazing. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we beseech thee to smite down our enemies. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble court jesters, here to amuse you. To our lords, Trevor R., we give thanks for this spit of land for us to eke out this meager existence. To our knights, Merid, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Ellie Leslie, Alex P., Brandon, Words Greenwood, Nate, that one guy, Hagbird Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Val 9000, Jenna Tall, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multi Mondi, Trevor Yanis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our flag in a veil, and we salute you, our friends.